Hey guys, it's Chris and Desh here with Just Loot It, and today we're recapping episode 3 of CD ProjektRed's Night City Wire, including a tour of Night City, an interview with Miles Toast, info on all the gangs, PC specs, and more.
Taking an in-depth look at some of the hotspots in Night City, we could see game shows, reality shows, news networks, late-night talk shows, clubs, bars, side streets, alleyways, homeless, crime, bodies in the street, people stealing parts, freeways, corpo buildings, public speakers, and more. Now, some of you may have caught a website link in the newest episode of Night City Wire, nightcity.love. On this site, in addition to the displayed body count of the day, you can find out more information on Night City, including its roots and history, information on political candidates, the different districts, and transportation. The site even has fake ads on it for things like Easy Beef by All Foods, whatever that is, and Real Water, things you will no doubt find in-game. Senior level designer Miles Toast discussed how the devs of Cyberpunk treated Night City as a main character of the story and the world, stating, "We wanted you to be able to dive into it and feel like this is a real place." And as you can imagine, it seems you can become fully immersed in everything they have built here. The devs based Night City on real-life geography, specifically the coast of California, including things like ports and industrial areas. They wanted to make sure all 6 districts had variety, each with its own characteristics, architecture, graphics, and people, giving each its own identity with a completely different vibe and feel. I think this is great for replayability. It keeps it fresh, and it gives you that feeling there's always something new around every corner. Miles also noted this is the most complex thing CD ProjektRed has worked on. He discussed how they grew in phases as the devs built buildings on top of each other, mega buildings, etc. With Night City, you could definitely see infinite possibilities when it comes to exploration, roaming the cities at day or night, and in addition to the main story quests and side quests, you can really get a sense of the no limits open world aspect that makes Cyberpunk 2077 so unique. With things like hand littering the garbage in Night City, you can really tell how passionate the devs are when it comes to making all of this so believable, encouraging players to take note of the details in the game that may pay off when it comes to certain activities or encounters you may face in-game. Every street in Night City even has a name, not only making things like communicating with NPCs easier or navigating locations, but even when talking with other players, discussing areas or points of interest like restaurants or clubs, much like you would do in real life. Now, what can you tell us about the gangs of Night City?
We may not know yet which gang is going to be the biggest and baddest, but we do know that Maelstrom looks to be the most unpredictable. Referred to as psychos who enjoy violence and even have something called a meat grinder, the Maelstrom gang definitely has a unique feel. Their weird aesthetic is almost Terminator-like. Their mission to become more machine than human has left them with unpredictable behavior that brings an element of chaos to the game. Next up, the Valentinos. They've got 2 things they're known for, God and style. They've got a punishment ready for every type of occasion and a bone to pick with 6th Street. 6th Street are known for 2 things as well, their patriotic love and their hate for the Valentinos. 6th Street and the Valentinos seem to have one of the biggest rivalries. As for the Voodoo Boys, some say they're an urban myth. Others say they're the best nut runners in town, yet they hail from their own island cut off from the rest of the city. One thing's for certain, you do not steal from the Voodoo Boys. Animals are known for being the craziest gang in the city. They're hired muscles for someone else's need. Hitmen, maybe? The Tiger Claws are cutthroat. They'll take out anyone who asks questions. Apparently, they killed too many girls and got on the radar of a group called Moxes. Moxes are known as the freak shows and the outcasts who have each other's back. Their emphasis on community seems to align with those of the Nomads. In the Badlands, you've got the Wraiths, who seem to function like an ecosystem made up of nomads, corporations, and drifters, where if you remove one piece of the puzzle, they say the delicate balance crumbles. And if there's one thing you should know about the Aldecaldos, everything stays in the family.
One thing is clear, gangs rule the streets of Night City. They've got the newest cyberware, the coolest weapons, all with their own unique aesthetic to match the affiliated gang they're associated with, including cars. You're likely to encounter these gangs as you explore and even when completing quests for fixers. You might even be hired by them. As for being able to join a gang yourself, that unfortunately doesn't seem like a viable option. As quest director Mattu explained, V is a merc, and mercs of Night City are this unique, distinct group that stick mostly to themselves. You can get jobs from corporations or other gangs, And because of this, nobody will ever trust a merc to be one of them. The gangs of Night City are only looking for people they know will be loyal to them and fight for their cause, not just when it's profitable for them. Mattu explains because of this, V will mostly stick to Afterlife, the hangout spot for legendary mercenaries, who get the best clients, the best jobs, the most money. And the thing to remember here is, if you want to become a legend in Night City, you are going to the Afterlife. And last but not least, we're gonna go over the PC specs that you all want to know.
All right, let's talk about the minimum requirements first. For the minimum requirements, they're gonna require at least Windows 7 or Windows 10, DirectX 12, an Intel Core i5-3570 or AMD FX 8310, 8GB of RAM, an NVIDIA GTX 793GB, or an AMD Radeon RX 470. As for the storage, they're asking for a 70GB hard drive, and they do recommend a solid-state drive. As for the recommended system requirements, they suggest 64-bit Windows 10, DirectX 12, an Intel Core i7-4790 or an AMD Ryzen 3 3200G. 12GB of RAM, an NVIDIA GTX 1060GB, or AMD Radeon R9 Fury. And that wraps up our recap of Night City Wire Episode 3.
If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to be notified for more Cyberpunk news and news on all your favorite RPGs. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember, just loot it.